Everybody get up! Everybody get up! Everybody needs to understand that I'm more than simply a hype man for this rap group, just like Geico is more than just a company that can save you money. Geico also has fast and friendly claim service, so they can help you when you need it most. And while I do love being a hype man, I also love reading for children's audiobooks. Like Little Bo Peep, she lost a sheep, and she don't know where to find them. Go!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
I'm done.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, just like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
All right, it's the New York Knicks podcast, episode 354. I am Jay. With me is Mark.
Yes, we are back.
So I have my voice. The Knicks got a win. Things are looking up.
Yeah, the world is not going to shit according to, well, we have an election next week, so who the hell knows? But Knicks world is not going to shit.
Yes.
Things are back in order. After a, I don't say a crushing loss to Cleveland, but not a fun loss to Cleveland. The Knicks won last night. They beat the Grizzlies, and we are going to talk about that.
We'll go over both games. We got a few other things planned. So
I have no idea what else we have planned, so go on.
well, I do. So I'll fill you in on
Ooh,
that.
so you have stuff planned for me.
Yes.
Okay. Now I have my voice back. I can do whatever I want. I make plans. I can talk on the show.
Taking over.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the question. You had surgery to remove the cock from your mouth. What are you? And the goal was that you were supposed to improve your sleep. Are you sleeping better?
The last 2 days have been heavenly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Best sleep you've had in years?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk more in the Brink Show. We're going to do a Brink Show in a couple of days. And Jay will fill us all in on his heavenly sleep and all that happened with his surgery. But did you get a chance to watch both Knicks games?
I did, yes. So I liked the Cleveland game because it tempered expectations.
Well, you know what I liked about the Cleveland game? So I think the Knicks were – so last year, the Knicks would always end games by being down by a bunch of points and have a Knicksian comeback and then blow it, right?
Yeah.
The Knicks are ahead of schedule because they did that in the first half of the Cleveland game, and then they knew they were done for the rest of the game. They made their little comeback in the first half, almost tied the game, and they were like, "Okay, we're done. We had our Knicksian comeback. We don't need to play in the second half." Do you want to talk about that game a little bit?
Sure.
What do you like about the game? Let's talk about the things we obviously we didn't like the outcome. The Knicks didn't exactly look they did not look exactly like a team as much as a bunch of guys playing together for the first time. But what do you like about the game?
I like that Derrick Rose looked healthy.
Derrick Rose, he looks pretty good.
You know, he's fast.
He is fast. He can get to the goddamn basket.
Holy crap, is he fast?
I have to say, I know they say he's lost a step, and he has probably. And I didn't watch him.
I didn't watch too much of him in Chicago. If this is him, a slower him, holy crap.
He can get to the rim. I don't need the step he lost. He can get to the goddamn rim. If he can finish at the rim, he is going to have a good season for the Knicks if he plays, if he's healthy.
Yes.
He's not dropping 25 points to get a game. And he needs to look for his teammates a little more, especially, I don't know, a guy that's 7'3", it'd be helpful if you look for him a little more. But he's getting to the goddamn basket. I love the fact that he can go around guys and he's pretty creative. Like, I don't need him to – so his shooting percentage at the rim isn't necessarily as high as people would like, but it's partly because he does a lot of, like, crazy stuff going to the rim. But I have been super impressed with his ability to get to the basket.
I would like to see him average more than 2 assists a game.
That's the whole looking for his teammates. It seems like once he goes to the basket, he is done passing.
Right.
And which I would love to see is that he drives to the basket, goes around guys, and then just hands the ball off to Porzingis, who would dunk it, or whoever else is there, or hand the ball off to Noah.
Like he does a good job of contorting to get a shot up, but that contorting also doesn't draw fouls.
No, it doesn't. I thought a guy like him would draw more fouls because James Harden does all the contorting, but James Harden also like falls over like a feather, so he gets the fouls. And I don't necessarily I don't need my made of glass Derrick Rose to fall over too much, but it is kind of his style kind of limits the amount of fouls that are going to be called.
Right. He only took 2 free throws in each game so far.
But I would like to see him look. Part of it, I think, is that because he doesn't know his teammates that well yet, he doesn't necessarily trust them. He doesn't know necessarily how to utilize them the best yet. But I want to see more pick and roll with Derrick Rose, looking for his teammates, because I think that could be a huge weapon.
Okay, other things I liked. Noah's energy.
Holy shit, I like Noah. I'm already in love with Noah.
Yeah.
Noah, Joakim Noah, if you could stay healthy for this year, I'll leave my wife for you. He has the insane, like, literally chest bumps during, like hits his chest during a game, like, roar! I'm gonna destroy you. I love his energy.
In the Grizzlies game, he got a rebound and he just stood there and screamed for like 5 seconds. It was awesome.
What I did not realize was that we traded for Derrick Rose, signed Brandon Jennings, and our best point guard is Joakim Noah.
Right.
I mean, the dude is a fucking good I mean, I know we're not cursing on the episode. Sorry. He is a good passer. I love what he brings to that part of the game. I need a little more offense from him.
Yes, but he is leading the team in assists so far.
Yeah, I also need him not to foul. I need him not to foul out of games anymore because I did not like the fact that he actually fouled out of the Memphis game. And I need him to play more minutes. He's played, what did he play, like 20 minutes against Cleveland and like 22 against I need 30 minutes from him.
Yet in his 22 minutes, he almost got a triple-double.
Actually, based on watching Kyle O'Quinn, I might need 48 minutes from him.
Right.
But I need 30 minutes. Yes, and I understand maybe – I think part of it is the Cleveland game was such a blowout that you didn't want to really burn him out. And then he did obviously had foul trouble throughout the Memphis game. So I understand what happened there.
So other things I liked.
I like the fact that the first half was interesting because the first half the Knicks really played. They kept pace with Cleveland. Then they put their backups in. Their bench is a garbage fire of epic proportions. Then the starters came back in. They made it a close game, and then they lost the crap in the second half. And Cleveland obviously is a really good team, but I guess I liked the fact that at least they were able to hang with them for the first half.
There was a lot of bench guys in Cleveland that I was more impressed with than I thought I would be. Kuz looked good.
Okay, so what I couldn't figure out was not to jump between games was why Kuz was not used in the Memphis game.
That was a little confusing considering he looked like he was scoring at will against Cleveland. I mean, 7 points in 9 minutes.
He looked pretty good. I kind of also wonder. So one of the mistakes I feel like Derek Fisher made initially was his rotations were so wide initially. He used he'd use like 11 guys or 12 guys in a night. And I understand part of the issue was no one was stepping up and saying like, I'm better than this guy. You should play me. It was hard to have tighter rotations. But maybe Hornacek's plan is just to like each game have a tight rotation and go with it basically, and go like Kuz will play next game maybe, and then the game after that they'll give more to Billy again.
Things I also liked. It's been 2 games, and Sasha's played a total of 3 minutes.
That I like.
Love that. Actually, I put that in the love category.
Though I have to say, the bench unit basically cannot score. It's a big issue for this team right now is when the bench comes on, who the hell scores? In the Cleveland game, when it was all at one point in the first half, it was an all bench lineup, and it was a disaster. They really and even in the Memphis game, even in the Memphis game, it was tough. Like when the bench was on, what would you do to fix this bench or fix the get scoring on the bench?
You got to stagger. See, we don't even have a ton of scorers in the starting lineup, but I think you got to stagger Porzingis and Carmelo.
Well, here's an idea. I heard this elsewhere. It wasn't my original idea, but why not stagger Rose? Play him take him out at like the 6-minute mark of the first half, and then put him back with the bench unit, and put Jennings a little more with the first unit.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Because Rose can really score, and they did it. They put Porzingis with the second unit somewhat, and that's not a bad idea either. But Well, part of it, Brandon Jennings has looked horrible. I know it's 2 games, but Brandon Jennings has looked god-awful so far. What do you think?
I thought he looked better in the Memphis game.
I wanted to murder him in both games.
Yeah?
He just dribbles he just dribbles and dribbles, makes he makes a lot of stupid passes.
Yeah, he makes some stupid shots, too.
He makes some stupid shots, too.
I'm more impressed with Holiday.
Holiday, I'm really impressed with. I have to say, I feel like I want to see Holiday play some time with the starters. And that's also a way, put him with the starters a little more, and have Courtney Love, not Courtney Love, Courtney, that'd be an interesting combination. Courtney Lee a little more with the second unit.
Yeah, I knew Courtney Lee wasn't as bad as he looked against Cleveland. He's a decent player.
Well, just to jump around with the games also, I like the fact that, so Kylo Quinn, you agree, Kylo Quinn is just maddening to have on the court, right?
Yeah, I thought it was weird that Clyde and Mike were talking him up so much.
The thing is, Kylo Quinn's a guy that has a lot of goddamn talent, and I understand why people give him a chance, and he can hit some shots. When he shoots from 3, I actually want to have him waterboarded, but he also can make some really beautiful passes. He had one pass, a lob to Justin Holiday, that I was like, damn, that was a hell of a pass. But for every good play he does, it's like 5 bad plays. Mm-hmm. He plays terrible defense and just throws these passes. He wants to throw these amazing passes, but a lot of times they're bad passes. And he's maddening. Anyway.
The weird thing is, if you look at his stat line for both games, it doesn't look that bad.
No. I think it's more of an eye test. Watching him out there, you get angry.
Yeah.
His plus minuses are bad also. But at the end of the Memphis game, what I liked was when Noah fouled out, I'm sure Kylo Quinn was like, "Oh, you're gonna put me in the game," and Hornacek goes, "No, you shit, F back down." He went with a better line. He went with a different lineup. I like the fact that he didn't just go to let me replace Noah. He went with a smaller lineup basically.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of that. Here's a lineup I want to see a little more of: Derrick Rose, Courtney Lee, Justin Holiday, Melo, and Porzingis. I like that lineup a little more. I want to see Porzingis in the center and go with some more small lineups.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could. I'm not sure when he's going to find himself, but so far, who's the guy you hate the most?
Sasha?
No, the second most. The guy who we made you apologize last year.
Lance Thomas?
Yeah, Lance Thomas. Lance Thomas so far has not looked very good. Hopefully he'll look good sometime soon. But he's also a guy I'd also have more in small. I want to see some small ball lineups to kind of balance things out, especially when they're having trouble scoring.
They're going to need Thomas to step up. Somebody's got to step up on the bench.
Yes. Justin Holiday. So I've also noticed that Jerry and Grant is not playing for the Bulls yet. I don't know if they're he's not even they're not even dressing him for games so far.
Right, but Hardaway is playing very well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, what's he done so far? I haven't even noticed.
I'll pull it up. Keep going.
Okay. But anyway, I was gonna say the swap of Jerry and Grant for Justin Holiday. I mean, it's only 2 games, but so far it looks pretty smart. Because and I was someone against trading Jerry and Grant. I don't know how good he's going to be, but Justin Holiday, I'm impressed with. I'm very impressed with so far.
Yeah. I mean, he was a guy who wasn't breaking into Chicago's rotation.
I mean, it's not always easy to break into rotation. Sometimes you need multiple shots. What's his name? Who's the point guard you love? On the horn on the
Dragic?
No. The guy
Tim Frazier.
Tim Frazier, who almost had a triple double against the Warriors. He needed multiple shots and looks like a guy the Knicks could have wasted a roster spot on last year.
It pisses me off that we don't have Tim Frazier on this team.
I don't know. The Knicks, they had worked him out, and all last year we were like, hey, you have an empty roster spot. Why not try someone out and see if you can anyway, he looks pretty good over at for the Pelicans. But going back to the games, I feel like a guy that could step up really is Kuz. I feel like he has the extra scoring we need on the bench.
Yeah.
What do you think?
To answer your question, Tim Hardaway, first game of the season, he had 21 points on 8 of 13 shooting. Second game, he came back down to earth. He had 7 points on 3 of 11 shooting.
Okay. So Tim Hardaway, would you trade Tim Hardaway for? Well, Tim Hardaway doesn't play defense. We need a guy that plays defense.
That's the thing. He could score as many points as he wants. If he can't guard anybody, it's still going to be terrible.
We need a guy who could score but could really play some defense. And it looks like Justin Holiday can play some defense. So, what do you think of what we've seen from Billy Herman Gomez so far?
About what I expected. He could score in the post, and he's terrible on defense.
Yeah, between him and Kyle O'Quinn, you really like
pick your poison. Yeah,
they're both horrible on defense. I still think Billy Herman Gomez is teachable. I think Kyle O'Quinn, I don't know how he actually is intelligence-wise outside the basketball court, but I feel like he's just a low IQ basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's going to become a better defender anytime soon. Who else?
I mean, I don't really have many other takeaways. I'm glad we got the win. They were missing 40% of their starting lineup.
Whatever. We were missing chemistry. They were missing 40% of their starting lineup. We didn't have chemistry yet, so all is fair. We played together twice. You missed two of your starters. Chandler Parsons could have hit a bunch of threes for you, or could have missed a bunch of threes. Going back to the Cleveland game, is there anything else you want to say besides the fact that LeBron looks like a goddamn beast?
Isn't he supposed to start regressing at some point?
I don't know. I don't know when it's going to happen. I mean, I feel like he's one of these guys that you're going to tell people about in the future and be like, they're like, oh, I look at his stat line. He looks like a great stat line. You're like, you don't understand how he could take over a game.
Yeah, I mean,
he just would break through. He runs through the defenders like he's a goddamn linebacker.
He had to have at least 8 dunks that game, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wish. Do you know how crazy the Garden crowd would go if we had a guy that was doing that stuff?
Oh my God!
Holy crap!
I mean, we're going nuts over Noah, and he's averaging 3 points a game. Like, imagine if we had a guy like LeBron.
We do have KP. We haven't talked about too much yet. So what I was annoyed about in Game 1 was I found they really weren't doing much to create shots. The big thing you got to do is create shots for one another. Make sure you want easier baskets and it's not have to work for every goddamn basket.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing that at times, but they for KP, you saw it in the Memphis game. If you get him the ball while he's moving, he's so much more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, get him in pick and rolls. Just get him while he's moving, and he can finish. He has such great hands for finishing at the rim.
Well, I mean, he could drive too. I mean, there was that one play where he got the ball on either half court or not even at half court, and he dribbled all the way down for a layup.
I mean, you were watching that play. Tell me you watched that play and you were like, oh, God, it's still a nice drive, but there's no way. Holy crap, it went in.
Yeah.
I was shocked. It went off the backboard. And then there was that nice play where I think O'Quinn actually might have been him who passed out to Porzingis and he dunked, and I don't know why the guy fouled him. I don't know why you foul a 7-3 guy who's obviously going to make the dunk.
I mean, he only took 11 shots, but he got 21 points. So I'll take that.
He looked pretty good. I mean, I feel like he's underutilized. I mean, he's such a weapon. Why not get him in more alley-oops? Get him near the basket and just throw it up to him. Who's gonna get the ball from me? 7 goddamn 3. If he holds the ball up, he's fine.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be featured more on offense. Other thing I liked, Porzingis and Melo, we had a close game, still only played 36 minutes.
Yes.
Minutes management seems to be Hornacek's doing a good job on that.
What do you think about Melo so far?
Flashes of super impressive, and then flashes of, we're doing the iso ball thing again.
Yeah, he goes like the first half against Memphis, and the first quarter or so against Cleveland, the ball was moving around great, and then it kind of just dies. And Melo seems to always go back to the iso ball thing, and it drives me a little crazy. Because Melo's also a guy. If we can get the ball moving a little bit like that, he'd be such a better weapon.
Because he's turning the ball over a little much, and part of that's because he's holding it too long. He's scoring a decent amount of points, but it's not efficient. He had 19 points on 18 shots, and then he had 20 points on 15 shots.
Yeah, I need him to get to the point where he's doing a little more efficiency. He hasn't been bad. He's gotten some assists even. I think he had 3 assists in the first game and 5 in the second game.
Yeah, he's averaging 4 a game, which, that's probably his second second most of his career.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you think of the whole triangle? Like after the first game, there was lots of talk about like how the triangle was like it's a triangle holding the Knicks back, and they even had like there was an interview I heard with Hornacek where they asked him about the triangle, and he didn't even say I like the triangle. He just said, "Well, you got to run a system, and this is the system we're running." It wasn't even an endorsement of the triangle.
Right.
And after that, I was like, "Well, what the hell?" Like Hornacek doesn't even really like care about running the triangle. He's just doing it to make Phil happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it wasn't Phil's directive, Hornacek would not be running the triangle. And so that got me worried. But then the ball moved a lot better in the Memphis game. And I'm not against any of the triangle stuff. I just don't see the whole strong benefit either.
Right.
But it seemed like I felt like there was more pick and roll in the second game also.
Well, you need more pick and roll.
Well, obviously you need. I still don't understand, and I know people have explained this to me, but why in God's name do you pass the ball to the center at the top of the key? At least if it's Noah's a good passer, but like it doesn't seem to create any offense.
Don't know.
It's just like I'd prefer the point guard goes past the 3-point line, penetrates the perimeter, and then creates because of creating chaos, creates some shots for guys. Instead, dribble up to the 3-point line, pass to the top of the key to the center, who immediately pass it to someone else. I don't know what that's supposed to create.
Don't know. Can't answer that.
Answer me, goddammit, Jay. You're supposed to know these things. I don't understand why they keep doing this. It just seems like a better play would be just like the point guard dribbles up and the guy in the center, instead of receiving the pass, sets a pick and they go right to pick and roll.
Yeah. I'm for that.
I don't understand. I just don't. I don't understand. I'm not even saying that the Knicks have been scoring. They scored enough points against Memphis, obviously, because they won the game. I'm not saying the offense has been bad. It gets stagnant at times. I don't understand what they're. I just wish I understood better what was the point of that pass at the top of the key.
I'm sure there's a reason, but I don't know it.
Could we get Phil Jackson on the show? He could just explain this one thing to me. This is all I want. Phil Jackson, come on the show. And I know you don't give a shit about us, but come on the show and explain this one thing. I won't even ask any other questions. I just want to understand why you passed the guy at the damn top of the key.
2-minute interview. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll ask one question. Our follow-up question would be, "What are you goddamn serious?" Anything else you want? Any other takeaways you want from the Cleveland game, from the Memphis game?
No.
I was impressed with the fact that the game, it started to get close. It was they were within 2, and the starters came back in, and they put and they reeled off 12 points and put the game. They didn't put the game out of reach, but they took control of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a couple moments where oh, here we go. I think Memphis even tied it in the fourth quarter, but they held on, which is unlike the last couple seasons.
How do you think the defense has been?
It has flashes of looking really good.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of bungles, but those flashes I see, it looks like it's something to build on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like defense is about chemistry, and it's just going to take time. But they have. It looks like a lot. I think there's a lot to work on here, or a lot of good stuff to work on.
Agreed.
What do you want to see more? So this week I think they have 3 games this week coming up. What do you want to see? What do you want to see the Knicks do this week besides actually obviously winning the games? They got Pistons coming up, they got the Rockets coming up, and they got the Bulls coming up. So it should be and then the Jazz. It should be an interesting week.
I mean, I would like to see 3 out of 4 wins there.
Yes, well that would be. I'd like 4 out of 4 wins. I want to see more Kuz off the bench. I want to see more Justin Holiday.
Mm-hmm. Less O'Quinn.
Less O'Quinn, much less O'Quinn. I want to see as much O'Quinn as I see in my room currently right now. I want to see more hitting Porzingis when he's moving, more pick and rolls, more Derrick Rose getting to the basket,
and a little less iso ball.
Yeah, a little more. I mean, I want to see some spot up Melo from 3-point land.
Yeah,
I want to see him get him the ball. I want to see Brandon Jennings be a little more in control.
Yeah.
I feel like part. Did I hear myself speak?
No.
Okay. I thought I did. Okay. Yeah, I want to see Brandon Jennings not just run like he's doing wind sprints. What else you got for us today, Jay? We talked about the Knicks games.
Yes.
Go on.
Say we had our fantasy draft, fantasy league.
Ooh, tell me about your fantasies, Jay. What are you wearing?
I thought we can maybe get some reactions on how the Knicks got drafted.
Okay. Who should I be? Should I be a? Can I be? Should we call in Joe Balls with his Knick fan reaction to this? What was the character?
Joey Nicknuts?
Joey Nicknuts. Yeah, can Joey Nicknuts give the reactions?
Sure.
Okay. Hey Jay, I'm excited. Yeah, we got a super team in New York. So I am so excited. We got the MVP. We got Defensive Player of the Year. We got KP. We got Melo, the great one. Melo, who's just as good as LeBron James. They have the same amount of. LeBron has not as many Olympic rings. We got the Knicks team. We are 80 games away from being 81-1.
Okay.
I hear you had a fantasy.
We did.
Tell me about your fantasy. What are you wearing in your fantasy?
We had an auction-style draft.
Wow. Tell me more. I'm touching myself.
And we had all 5 guys in the Knicks starting lineup get drafted.
Okay, so I assume they went 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because the Knicks are the best team of all time. Yeah, we're winning the title. Yeah. Did I tell you about my predictions? You didn't put me on the prediction show.
No, I forgot.
I predict the Knicks will win 85 games this year.
Okay.
That's the regular season, and then I predict they're going to win the title in 12 games. That's how I predict it's going to happen. I don't care how many games it actually takes because the Knicks are that good.
Oh, I missed you, Joey Nicknuts.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, so what happened? How does this work? You had to sell like your cat and girlfriend for Melo?
What are you even talking about?
You said it was an auction. You had to sell them, right?
You get $200.
I thought you had to give away like real possessions. Sorry.
And fake monies, and then you bid on each player.
Okay. Okay, tell me. So $200 for Melo. What do you do after you spend all your money on him?
So, how do you think Melo would feel that he went for a lot less money than Porzingis?
Well, he would feel like, ha, you got me. That's a good one.
Yeah, he went for $8 less than Porzingis, which I thought was interesting to say the least.
Jay, you know, like if you're gonna keep this joke going, I'm gonna eventually believe you. You are a funny guy, Jay. Ha. You good one, Jay.
Yeah, that happened, and he went 20 picks later than Porzingis.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. Let's see. Other Knicks. Derrick Rose.
Jay, did you borrow my car and crash it also? What else did you do with me? You light my house on fire?
How much do you think Derrick Rose went for?
Oh, tell me. Did you come over my place and like take a dump in my sink? How much did Derrick Rose go for?
$11.
Well, it's great.
Which is about double what Yahoo predicted. So,
was this before or after he got like innocent from because I understand they thought like he was going to be guilty of like sexual assault.
Yeah, no, that was when they found out he was innocent.
Okay, Jay. Whatever.
The other two Knicks starters, Lee.
I don't know if I really want to talk to you anymore.
Put Mark back on. I don't like you anymore.
Oh, well, I don't really like you anymore either. I'm kind of offended you exist. Bye.
The other two.
The only thing I have to say is you said he went. Well, Joey Nicknucks told me that he went. Melo went 20 picks later. It's not like it really matters in an auction draft because guys can go like LeBron can go last. It's just a matter of when they go.
Right, but people usually pick the better players first.
That's true. I'm sure Melo would be thrilled to know that you picked that. It was also a bunch of Knicks fans, obviously, in the fantasy draft.
Right. So most of the Knicks players went way higher than Yahoo predicted.
Yeah, figures.
Except Courtney Lee and Noah both went for $1.
Yeah, but
And then Noah got dropped after the first game.
his intangibles don't necessarily show up in the stats, huh?
No.
He also should shoot his free throws underhanded because that's the only way we're going to survive a season of Hack and Noah.
Oh my God.
I have to say, I don't know. I guess the Knicks. I hate the Hack and Noah. You should not be able to foul a guy away from the ball and have that guy shoot. And I know the NBA has been talking about this for a while, but like you foul a guy away from the ball, the guy with the ball should shoot the ball.
I don't even get what Memphis's coach was doing. He did the Hack of Rose. Rose is like 80% shooter.
Yeah, that I didn't really understand either. But the Hack and Noah, like it did work. Yeah, you know what I want to see in the next games, by the way? I didn't mention. I want to see the Knicks not completely suck from the free throw line.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Holy crap. The Memphis game wouldn't even been close if the Knicks could just hit some free throws. You know, weren't the Knicks the best free throw shooting team in the NBA last year?
I think so.
Okay, well, we're gonna make the team a lot better and everything else, and we're gonna suck at free throws to balance things out.
You know what sucks in an auction style draft?
The actual doing an auction style draft.
I know you hate it, but
yeah, I didn't even participate in the fantasy draft this year because I hate it that much.
If you think somebody's getting too good of a deal, so you bid it up $1, and then you get that player, and then that uses up your last roster spot, and then Tim Frazier goes for $1.
Tim. His game. He played. They played last night, and he didn't have that great of a game. So he may not be the second coming of Oscar Robertson after all.
Definitely worth at least $1.
Yeah, no, he would be a good guy to have on your team.
I mean, I probably could have had him for like $3. I was pretty pissed about that.
Yeah.
The highest player in the draft.
How long are you gonna talk about the fantasy draft?
I just thought this was interesting. Went for $83.
LeBron.
No.
Curry?
LeBron went for 60. Which
everyone always expects LeBron to kind of fall off. So if it's not Curry, 83.
Nope.
Durant.
Nope.
Westbrook.
Nope.
Westbrook, by the way, scored 50 the other night.
Yeah.
I feel like Westbrook might average 40 points a game.
He's mad, and I realized I forgot they lost Ibaka. There's not a lot left on that team.
No, they got him and Adams. That's kind of they're starting a rookie. They one of the guys they drafted is in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Harden.
Yeah. I think Harden's going to be a hell of a fantasy player. And we'll see him in a couple nights against the Knicks. Who's your best player?
Probably, I mean, the highest paid player I have is Draymond Green. I got him for like 43. I think that's pretty good for 43.
Yeah, he fills up the stat sheet. I mean, he gets some turnovers, I feel like, but he's good. Hey, were you excited by the NBA draft?
What are you talking about?
They just had the NBA draft, dude. Weren't you ready to predict who got picked in the NBA draft? Sorry, the NBA D-League draft?
Oh. I didn't even know they had a draft.
They do have a draft. It's like an actual organization. So the Knicks drafted Max Hooper.
Sweet.
And the interesting thing about him, this is so he averaged 10.7 points, 10.7 points a game, shooting. He shot over 200 3-pointers in college.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single 2-pointer.
He never shot a 2-pointer?
He never shot a 2-pointer his entire college career.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He was 45% behind the arc, but he's the only player in NCAA history to shoot that many 3-pointers without ever attempting a 2-point shot.
That's a hilarious stat, actually.
He is a Knicksian player. Also, when he was drafted, Steve Novak was like, "I'm here, guys. I'm here." Anyway, I thought that was an interesting draft pick.
Yeah, that's amazing.
What are your predictions for these games before we start going to questions? Unless you had more things planned. So we have we got Pistons win or lose.
Win.
Yeah. I feel like. By the way, Drummond went for like 20 rebounds the other night. I still think the Knicks are better than the Pistons. Rockets.
Win.
That's the game I'm worried about. I feel like if they're going to lose one of these games, they'll lose to the Rockets. The Rockets can score. They can score a ton. The Knicks play. They still don't really guard the perimeter. What's with that?
They were practicing it before the last game too.
Hornacek made a comment basically about how like he's like if you try to help out in the paint, you're gonna leave the perimeter. Like he at least notices this happens basically. Which it didn't seem like the previous Knicks coaches noticed why the Knicks were doing this or that this was actually happening. Yes, I'm going to say lose. I want to say win against Pistons, loss against the Rockets. You're saying 2 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Bulls
Lose.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure Wade will be injured by then. I'm going to say win. I think we can beat the Bulls. I think the Knicks are better than the Bulls.
The Bulls.
So we're both on 2-1, and then the Jazz is the 6th. When's the 6th? That 6th is next Sunday. Okay, we don't count that. That'll be on next show.
Okay.
2-1. Do you have more things before the questions?
No, let's do questions.
Okay. I think since you have a voice again, you could start with the emails.
Emails. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. Also, last week I announced the game. Sorry, the game did not launch. They would just announce the name and the registration. So you can still register, firefan.com. And then the code to be on our team is nyknickspod. The game is launching November 21st. And then we'll be playing along with all you guys on November 21st.
We are excited to play.
Lorenzo writes, hey guys, I'm surprised that Hernan Gomez is wearing number 14 for New York, especially since Mace has passed away. Don't you find that weird?
I mean, they didn't retire Mason's number, though, right?
No, they didn't.
I mean, that's generally how you feel about if a beloved player whose number wasn't retired, do you think they should just not use that number again? Or, like, are you just going to be mad whoever uses the number?
I mean, in Hernan Gomez's defense, he was 5 last time the Knicks played. The last time Mason played for the Knicks.
But, like, think of other beloved. I mean, like, and I don't think the fact that he just died, should bear on the fact that you still use the number or not. Like, either they're going to retire the number or not retire the number.
Right. Maybe.
I mean, like, would you be upset? Like, is Oakley's number retired? I'm trying to think of a good example of a guy people love.
I'm not sure. If it's not, it should be.
Well, let's say Oakley's number is not retired. And then, who cares?
I mean, I'd be mad if Sasha wear it.
Yeah, I was going to say Sasha, and I feel like Sasha wearing Knicks on his uniform makes me angry. Ron Baker. If Ron Baker wore Oakley's number, you're really mad at Ron Baker?
No.
You should be mad at the Knicks. If you want the guy's number retired, you're mad at the Knicks. You're not mad at the guy who's wearing the number.
Right.
Yeah. We also got an iTunes review, which I was trying to pull up, but you keep reading.
Okay. I was just looking up to see if Oakley's number was retired.
Oh, here we go. I got the while you looked that up, we got a review. Thank you. This is from Genesis 87. More detailed than news radio. Top-notch, fun and real. Local sports radio is unlistenable. I enjoy learning about the players to prepare myself for the season. Relaxing escape. Good stuff. Thank you. We would like more iTunes reviews, preferably 5-star reviews. If you haven't written a review for us, please do it sometime soon. We really appreciate it. It really helps the show. Just go to iTunes, look our podcast up, and give us 5 stars and tell us how much you love us.
Yeah, it moves us up in the listings and gives us more exposure, and takes 2 seconds to do.
Yeah, so it would really help us out, so I appreciate it. Jay, keep going.
Oakley does not have his number retired.
I feel like Oakley should have his number retired, but who do you have the numbers? The guys who have numbers retired?
Yeah.
Who? How many guys?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. It takes that's a pretty So we have Clyde, Reed, King. I'm 3 for 3, right?
8. Sorry.
Okay, you have the list. I'm going to guess them.
Yeah.
Okay, Willis Reed, Clyde, Bernard King.
Not Bernard King.
Not Bernard King?
No.
Wow. This is a pretty tough list. You think Melo's going to get retired? I mean, Melo's case and Bernard's case were probably pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what happens the rest of his career.
Okay, so I'm 2. Obviously, Patrick Ewing.
Yep. You're not going to get some of these.
The old-time players. Tell me the old-timers, because I'm just not going to get them.
Dick Barnett.
I'm not. I just don't know the old-timers as well. Go on.
Dick McGuire.
Wire.
They actually have 2
Do
guys.
they? How many Dicks did they retire?
They have 2 guys with the same number. That's interesting.
Oh, really?
You can probably guess the next one.
Okay, we're done with the old guys.
I mean, well, 3 of them all played on Frazier's championship team.
Oh, Phil Jackson.
No.
No. Who am I missing?
Pretty much the rest of the starting lineup from that championship team.
Who is it? Just tell me.
Earl Monroe.
Oh, Monroe. God damn it.
DeBuscher.
DeBuscher, yes.
And Bill Bradley.
Yes. All guys I should have pretty much gotten if I was trying it all. Is anyone from modern era? Anyone else?
No. They retired Red Holtzman.
I guess besides Ewing, I can't think of who else would make the strongest case from there. Would probably be like Charles Oakley.
Yeah.
Who else would you make a strong case for?
Starks.
I mean, Bernard King also, I guess.
Oakley or Starks?
I think Oakley goes before Starks.
Absolutely. Knowing the Knicks, they'll retire Houston because they have such a hard on for Houston.
I mean, he works for them. But yeah, you know what they're going to retire, actually?
Hmm.
They're going to retire Charlie Ward. Okay, go with the questions.
Lorenzo writes...
Do you think it should be... sorry to interrupt. Do you think it should be a lot easier to retire numbers?
No.
Easier? Do you think that list, like, they should keep it as, like a guy like you're okay with Oakley being not allowed in the list?
No, I think Oakley should be on, but I think like I can't think of one other player that should be.
Would you put Bernard King on there?
No. What do you have, like 3 healthy seasons with the Knicks?
Something like that, yeah. No, it's true. Okay, go on.
Lorenzo writes, hey guys, FYI, the guys on NBA TV, the starters, have stolen your Would You Rather segment.
Son of a... Go on.
I say sue their asses. That is it for emails this week. A very light email week.
I think we have some Twitter action.
We do. We have a bunch of Twitters.
We don't have that many from Facebook, so.
Nick writes, I haven't entered a question for the next podcast, but if you guys complain about the pace of play, I would be fine with that.
Yes. Well, initially, the first quarter of the Cleveland game, the pace was good, and then it just like died from there. And Memphis game, like the first half was pretty good, and then it just died from there. Why do you think the pace just slows down so fast, so much?
I don't know if it's bad habits or...
But how's it bad habits? These guys were even on a team last year.
Well, it seems like they go with the plan for a little while, and then they're like, all right, now it's time for everyone to do what they feel like doing.
I just don't understand. They really slowed down, and they started playing Memphis's game, which I don't understand. There was no good reason why they had to slow down the offense.
Right. I have no idea.
I mean, part of it, I feel like the bench. In theory, the bench would do a lot of running. In theory, Brandon Jennings wouldn't look like shit. If Brandon Jennings is really running, and trying to move the offense, then the bench could be the pace should be better for the bench.
Agreed.
But yeah, do you think? Do you want to see? Well, Baker's got injured, right? I was gonna say I wouldn't mind seeing some more Baker, but I don't know how. Now he's injured. I don't know what the deal is.
At this point, I want to see Plumlee in instead of O'Quinn.
Yeah, that's the big change I want to see. Is I'd rather see more KP and like smaller lineups, but I wouldn't mind seeing Plumlee in. They need to try out other guys in the center. Like O'Quinn is not working. Basically, I think that's of all the quote unquote, like he's the weak link basically of everyone there. I'd rather see right now Sasha get some more minutes.
Oh,
and I know they play different positions, but I feel like Sasha's gonna get some minutes at some point. But so far, if Justin Holiday plays well, he will hold off Sasha.
Yeah,
that is our wall, our Mexican wall against the against Sasha, basically. Like that Trump has the Mexican wall against obviously the immigrants. or anyone that he doesn't like. Justin Holiday is our wall.
Gucci Jean writes, thoughts on Rose now? You like his aggressive play?
Yeah. I mean, I still have the concerns about health, but how do you not like his play?
Yeah, no, it's been nice having a point guard that's fast and can penetrate, which we haven't had since Mark Jackson.
So here's the question. I think we both did not love the trade when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the trade now?
I mean, 2 games in, I like it, but ask me again in like 20 games if we still have like a starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the health is a major factor, but we also, I think both of us were concerned about how good those guys would look in NBA action.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, Rose looks like a solid. I mean, Rose looks like he's a guy that, if he stays healthy, we're gonna have a real big quandary at the end of the year what to do about him. But he looks he looks pretty good, and
yeah.
I have to say, Noah seems like he adds more than Lopez does. I think we had originally, before season preview, we felt like Lopez and Noah were kind of a wash, and I don't think that's true. I think Noah really adds to the offense with his passing.
Yeah, his passing is huge. He may not score or rebound as much, but that passing just opens up the whole offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Lopez was the most amazing scorer either, but his passing it really, like, if you look at the plus minus from the Memphis game, Noah had the best plus minus, and like it was just because his passing was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that trade looks a little better now. But we'll see. Obviously, when they play 30 games this year, we'll be kind of pissed at the end of the day. But we'll see.
Gucci writes, would you take Conley over Rose? LOL, it was still funny hearing those overrated chants.
$150 million for Conley is just absurd.
I know. And the overrated chants were hilarious.
I didn't like. He's not even a guy that takes over games. I mean, he's a good point guard, but like.
And then Clyde was like, not overrated, overpaid.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. He's a fine point guard, but that money is so absurd for Conley. Memphis was left in a weird position where they're like, this is the max contract we can offer him, and he's going to ask for this max contract, and if he leaves, it's a huge hole for us. But this is moronic to give out, but we don't know what to do.
Yeah. Anthony writes, if we can play defense consistently, I think we're legit. Noah and Rose looking good. What do you guys think? I think we're going to get a lot of Rose and Noah questions.
Yes. And I think the defense thing, like, yeah, they can play. I feel like it's going to take a. Do you feel like now chemistry we're good to go, or you think how?
No. I mean, obviously we saw spurts where the team fell apart, but I love the energy of both of those guys, and I if they stay healthy, I think that we're just going to get better.
Assuming the stay healthy thing, how far into the season do you feel like the team will really be like hitting stride?
18 to 24 games.
Yeah, I would say like closer to like December at the earliest, with the team be hitting stride, if not January, because it's going to take a really long while before they really get comfortable, know the right lineups, know how to utilize each other.
Yeah. Gucci writes, that consistency is a big if with this team. It only determines how much we grow if they are consistent. Agree.
Jay, what's the record of the super teams?
Well, the Knicks are 1-1, and the Warriors just won, so they are 2-1. So,
son of a bitch. Okay, Knicks, you got to win. You got to keep pace with the other super team.
If we could beat Detroit, we're on pace with the other super team. The 4-year-old writes, do you still think the Golden State Warriors is unbeatable?
Yeah. I mean, I think them and Cleveland are going to have a hell of finals, but I just don't see anyone being them. I mean, I know they lost by like 30 to San Antonio in game 1, but I feel like they're going to have some hiccups with this.
And they barely beat Phoenix today.
Yeah, I'm looking this up now. I did not realize that. Durant went for 37, Curry for 28. What do you think's wrong? I mean, obviously they added a new player. They've added some new players. What do you think's wrong there?
It's a huge piece to add. I mean, when you change around 2 starters, I mean, don't forget Bogut's out too.
Yeah, losing him is a bit. Is it weird that Dallas has 40% of Golden State's starting lineup?
That is a little weird. And Dallas looks worse.
How is speaking of Dallas, how is Barnes doing?
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How high did you go in your draft?
Harrison Barnes, he went pretty low. I don't think people are too high on him.
Because I feel like he was a guy that like had a big upside. I would have like put some dollars towards him. We didn't get to do our fantasy. Normally, during the fantasy draft, we get to do a live show, but someone had to have an operation and ruin the show for us. Oh, I can't talk. I can't do a live show.
Yeah, that guy I bid on that cost me Frazier was Wes Matthews on Dallas, and he has been an absolute train wreck so far. I'm like one game away from just dropping him.
They're getting rocked by the Rockets right now.
Yeah, and Wes Matthews is 0 points.
Did you hear that? So there was a rumor that the Spurs might be looking to deal LaMarcus Aldridge.
That's such crap. There's no way.
There's no way. And they also obviously look pretty good to start the season, but that was bizarre. A bizarre rumor. By the way, have you noticed that like who the hell is like you look at San Antonio, like who the hell is Jonathan Simmons?
Was that last year's draft pick?
I guess so. I don't even know. Like he's playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Patty Mills, I know he's pretty good in generally, but like he's playing great. Like how does the team just not? You lost Tim Duncan. I know Duncan wasn't even that big of a role anymore last year, but how are they still so goddamn good?
Hi, we're the Spurs, and we make 0 mistakes with our roster picks.
Holy crap! You know who's starting tonight, by the way? David Lee.
Oh, David Lee.
Oh, David Lee.
And they won.
Then they won. How did Winslow go? I feel like Winslow is look at they played the Heat tonight, and Winslow. I've noticed. I was looking at the box score. He's kind of taking over I guess he's taking over Dwayne Wade's role more or less. He's not scoring quite as much, but he's been scoring a lot more than he did last year.
Yeah. I mean, we knew he was going to be good.
Yeah.
Actually, let me look up Barnes and Winslow. Barnes went 111th for $3.
Wow.
Which I think is a huge steal.
I probably would have been gone for like 15. I was one of those guys I would have thought would have been a good pick.
And Winslow went 129th for $2.
Yeah, that's how you win these drafts, like by getting all these guys that like they're so undervalued.
Well, the thing is, everyone in this league this year went absolutely nuts in the beginning, and nobody had any money by like the third round.
That sounds like how I do the draft.
And yeah, people like one guy bid 78 on Westbrook and then 74 on Towns, and then he had like $40 left for the rest of his roster.
That's pretty much how I do it. I've done this auction style draft. For those who don't know, I do it, and like I bid like $85 for LeBron, 70 for like Durant, and I'm almost done by the third pick.
But then you get bored and start complaining the rest of the draft.
It's because it's boring as hell. It's the most boring draft. Once you're don't have money, it's the most boring possible draft.
Well, then don't do that.
Whatever. Is Reggie Jackson out for the year or something?
No, but he got pretty injured. He's out for a while.
I was looking at the Pistons game, and they have Ish Smith starting.
Yeah.
Who is the dude that the Knicks signed and cut? Who's the guy from Philly? The point guard that we had for half a second.
I know, it's at the tip of my tongue.
God, we're such informative.
I know, we're the worst. I know who you're talking about too.
I know, because I was thinking of Ish Smith, but I was like, no, it's not. Ish Smith wasn't the guy.
Yeah, I know. What was there a point to that?
I just wanted to see how he was doing. I don't really have a point. I was actually looking at the Detroit game to see, because we're playing them coming up. And they got Ish Smith starting, and that made me think of the other guy. And they got Tobias. I looked at this line for the Pistons. They got Tobias Harris, which I feel like he's overrated. Ish Smith, who shot 5 for 17, and I think he's garbage. So he'll probably play well against the Knicks. They got Drummond. They got one of the Morris guys, and they got Caldwell Pope. I feel like the Knicks could beat this team.
It's not a very good team.
Tony Roten. That's who it is.
Yes.
Is he in the NBA? That was my question.
I don't think so.
I was wondering what he would be doing now. And apparently, lastly, he's on the NBA right now.
I am very happy with my fantasy team's point guard lineup. I got Jeff Teague, Eric Bledsoe, and the Dragon, Goran Dragic.
That's not bad. How is Bledsoe doing so far?
Today he has 21, 5, and 6.
He's one of those guys that should be a fancy stud. He could fill up the box score.
Yeah.
I bet he got some steals too.
1.
Go for the questions.
Yes, we're just about done with Twitter. The 4-year-old writes, we no longer have the weak 76ers to guarantee 3 or 4 wins against every season. Good thing there's the Nets.
Are you impressed with the 76ers yet? That you were like, should we really be worried about them yet right now?
Steven's messaging me talking trash about Embiid. He played 1 game.
Embiid had 1 good game. His second game, he was, what was he? I guess he was in foul trouble and barely played. He looks pretty good. And the whole point was no one ever said he wasn't going to be a good player. Everyone just said he will never be on the court. And so far, even in this healthy season, he's having trouble staying on the court. So not for injury reasons, but we'll see. He'll be injured.
Well, that and he's missed 164 out of 166 games.
Yeah, he's missed a bunch of games. And the Sixers, have they played well so far? I think they won a game, right?
Yeah,
Or am I
but
wrong?
you know,
I am not a I'm not taking any. I still think the Knicks. I think the Nets and the Sixers should be easy wins for us.
yeah,
Because I think we're
absolutely.
flat out better teams. So Jeremy Lin had a pretty good game the other night.
The Sixers have not won a game.
Okay, they have not won a game. They got crushed by the Hawks. I'm looking at them right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, Embiid played 15 minutes because he only had 3. I thought he had more fouls. Why is Embiid only playing 15 minutes?
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Yeah, trust the
Anytime
process
you can
means
draft a top 3 player, have to wait 3 years, and then have him on a less than 20 minute per game cap, you got to do it.
I mean, look at this disaster of a team. I'm sorry, Steven. But, okay, Embiid played 15 minutes, and he looked good. He got 14 points in 15 minutes, whatever. They got Sergio Rodriguez, who, by the way, Rodriguez was on the Knicks like 18 years ago. Do you remember when he was on the Knicks?
Yeah, for like 7 minutes.
He was one of those
That's
guys.
the same guy?
Yeah, I think so. I thought he was the same guy. I'm not going to look him up. If anyone knows, but Okafor's on the bench playing 15 minutes. They're top draft pick from last year. They want to get rid of him already.
Trust the process.
What are they doing there? Like, they're big. Yeah, they are a disaster. The Knicks should definitely beat them, and the Nets. I still wish the Knicks got Jeremy Lin. I'd rather have Jeremy Lin than Brandon Jennings, obviously.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going for Jennings kind of money. Whatever. But I just have a place in my heart for Jeremy Lin. Any more questions on Twitter?
We have one more. George writes, should the Knicks get Derek Fisher as a defensive coach?
Is that sarcasm? I don't understand. Was he supposed to be was he a good defensive coach while we were here? I thought the Knicks defense sucked the last 2 years.
Yeah. I would say no.
Oh, I would say also, I think it's always a horrible idea to bring back anyone you just fired as a coach.
Right.
I'm going to say that's going to cause chaos.
All right, that's it for
One a
Twitter.
sec, not to undermine you, but your new assistant coach is Derek Fisher, and we got Mike Woodson and Mike D'Antoni. See how it goes.
So
Ram is still on the staff, obviously, right?
yeah, NY Knicks podcast on Twitter.
Okay, so let's go to Facebook. Daryl writes, if RoboJ can make Sasha disappear, would Jay avoid prosecution? Also, can RoboJ give us a blueprint for strengthening the second rotation? Do you see that as the reason for the third quarter fade-outs so far?
I'm actually surprised at the love for RoboJ.
We got 1 negative for RoboJ.
And
but
like
generally,
12
the love
positives.
the love has been overwhelming for RoboJ. People out there want to marry RoboJ and have kids for RoboJ. How do you feel about the fact that RoboJ was more loved than you were?
I don't know if I should. Yeah, I'm a little insulted.
I mean, RoboJ is you. It's your other persona, Jay. So I don't know if you can really be like mad at RoboJ.
Right.
But like, is RoboJ like you're eventually going to be in a doctor's office, like talking to a psychiatrist, being like, "This RoboJ, he's out to destroy me." Who's RoboJ? Well, RoboJ is me when I type on a computer, and the computer's like talks instead of me. So RoboJ is yourself. Yeah, he's trying to destroy myself. Wait, You're a RoboJ. Don't you see what's going on here, Doctor? You're in on it too. Blueprint for the second I assume you don't have the RoboJ pulled up, so we're not going to go to RoboJ today, right?
We'll give it a little rest.
Okay. Blueprint.
We're
for
not saying he's dead forever, just for tonight.
Okay, Jay. Strength in the second rotation. We talked about it earlier. What is your plan? I talked about a little bit of Derrick Rose. You said KP. What are we going to do? What's the who are we pulling and what's the second unit going to look like?
Well, I mentioned I'd like to see Plumlee instead of Cock.
Cock?
Kyle O'Quinn. KOQ.
Wouldn't it be great if Clyde just started calling him Cock? And I would be great because then when he got blocked, they'd be like, "What a great block from Cock."
Cock block.
Cock block. Yes. So you're thinking, what are you thinking? So they pull who? First quarter, who gets pulled first and who comes back to the second unit?
I would say first quarter, Porzingis gets pulled first.
You pulling anyone else?
Mm.
So KP's the only starter that's going to be in the second unit.
Well, I mean, I think you staggered a little bit. I don't think you pull two at once, but maybe pretty quickly you pull Porzingis and then you put him back in when Noah goes out.
Who goes in for Porzingis?
Holiday.
Yeah.
And then you shift Melo to the 4.
And maybe that would make some sense. I like that. I was going to say maybe Lance Thomas also coming in. If he can look better.
If he can look like an actual basketball player, I'm down with that.
I was thinking that maybe you would pull maybe Courtney Lee also. Bring Holiday and Lance Thomas and see how that goes. And then bring KP and Courtney Lee over to the second unit.
Yeah, that could work.
And the second unit, Jennings, obviously. I wouldn't mind trying also the Rose thing, but for Jennings. But Jennings, so you got Jennings, Courtney Lee out there. You got Kuz. How do you think Kuz and Porzingis are going to fare together?
I think pretty well. They don't seem to be too redundant.
No. I was just wondering. I mean, I don't know. I always start worrying when I see too many tall white guys out there. Kuz's defense is not very good so far, but KP can kind of make up for it, hopefully. But I guess I would see a little bit of KP, Kuz, and then if I have that, do you want Plumlee out there, or you want maybe Justin Holiday out there and go for a big little lineup?
I mean, I would like to see Plumlee for a couple minutes just to see if he was just playing decent in preseason or he's actually decent.
Yeah, that's fair too. But maybe if you want Plumlee out there, then you go Plumlee, Kuz, Justin Holiday, Lance Thomas, and or Justin Holiday, Courtney Lee, and Jennings. I don't know. I want to mix it up a little. I guess it's going to take a little while to figure this out.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hornacek is kicking him, beating his head against the ground, trying to come up with a good rotation too.
Okay, it's been 2 games. Here's something I'm outraged about.
Okay.
I am absolutely outraged. Do I sound outraged today? Because I'm outraged.
Well, it took you over an hour to get outraged.
Okay, I am outraged. It's been 2 games. How long are the games, Jay?
Well, last night was ridiculously. Last night was 3 hours.
And how long's the first game? Probably 2.5?
2.5.
Okay, 5.5 hours. How many minutes is that, Jay?
In real time or NBA game time?
No, actual minutes. How many minutes are 5.5 hours? Do some math. Are you becoming like a CFA or something like that, or
270 minutes?
270 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's your math is terrible. It's 330. What the hell's wrong with you, Jay? Okay, 330 minutes. Where the hell is Horny's daughter? Come on! At some point during the Cleveland game, they should have been like, Knicks are down by a lot, but here's Horny's daughter. Shouldn't she be the halftime show for the fans at home? Okay. Yeah, and I agree with Daryl that part of the reason for the third quarter, I think part of the reason for us getting I guess the hiccups at some points during these games is the bench is a problem so far, but it's going to be it'll take a little while. A lot of these guys have not been in the NBA before, so. Kareem writes, "How do we get Melo to stop playing ISO so much? He ran the ball. He can score the ball and was hitting most shots in the game against Cleveland, but the whole motion offense stops."
When he starts going ISO, he's just got to get pulled.
Never in a million. They're not going to pull Melo for that.
I know, but they got to.
They're not going to. But the thing is, he doesn't do this in the Olympics. Do you think it's going to be a matter of just like he'll start trusting his teammates more and not do it as much?
Maybe because there's just more alpha players on the Olympics, and they would call him out if he started doing that.
Oh, yeah. Noah doesn't seem like an alpha player.
Yeah, but what is Noah going to say? Like, stop doing ice ball and pass me the ball because my shot's awesome?
I think Noah would just like say, I think Noah would be like, "Stop doing what you're doing, Melo. I'm screaming at your face, Melo, because what I do. I'm 100% at all times." I don't know. I feel like part of it is just that the offense starts staggering. Melo goes back to what he knows. And I think a little bit of like the more he gets comfortable with his team, the less he'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
No, we'll see. Writes, "Can RoboJ run for president?" Well, let me ask RoboJ some questions. RoboJ, have you do you keep your emails on a secret server?
I do not.
Do you like to grab the pussy?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Have you declared bankruptcy before with your many companies and had $1 billion of losses on your taxes?
No, not even once.
Okay. Do you according to internet rumors have killed many people? That's what they say about Hillary. Whatever. Okay, Robert J, are you going to be president?
It's not looking good right now. Not doing good in the polls.
Are you a better candidate than the Brink of Sanity?
Is that
Mr.
the same
Mr.
candidate?
Brink Sanity.
Mr. Brink Sanity. Everyone should vote for Mr. Brink Sanity.
Yes. Mr. Brink Sanity are from our other Brink of Sanity show. For those who don't know, Jay is running for president under the name Mr. Brink Sanity. And I have to say, based on the two candidates we have, Mr. Brink Sanity might be the most sane vote you'll make.
This is real. You could actually look up the register, and it's in there.
It's literally between Bernie Sanders and who's the other guy?
Rick Santorum.
Rick Santorum. You could find Jay's name, Mr. Brink Sanity. It is unbelievable. He was also featured in Newsday.
The New York Post.
New York Post. Jay was actually in the newspaper for running for president as Mr. Brink Sanity.
This is all the stuff you miss if you don't listen to our comedy podcast, The Brink of Sanity.
Adam writes, DeMarcus Cousins' deal ends after the season. Would you or any Knicks fan want him at the Knicks?
I don't know. He seems like such a pain in the ass to play with, but he puts up good numbers.
I mean, part of the thing is going to be seeing how the season goes with the team we have right now. But how is he going to fit in? We have Noah for next year. We have KP for next year. We have Melo next year.
No, I don't want him.
I don't understand how Cousins would even fit in unless you trade one of those guys. Like, he's a center, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Noah's a center, right? Assuming Noah's healthy, and we're not going to have money for Cousins anyway. We have Noah here.
Yep.
And also, I just don't understand why. I always start questioning a guy how good they really can be if the teams can't figure out a way to win with them.
Right.
And I know that Kevin Garnett kind of proves that wrong a little bit because Kevin Garnett was really good, obviously, and like in Minnesota, but suffered there. But like a guy like Cousins or a guy like who's the other guy?
Garnett had terrible, terrible teams, and they made the playoffs every year.
Did they make the playoffs every year?
Pretty much. I mean, they lost.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, they lost in the first round every year, but they made the playoffs almost every year.
I know they went on that run that one year when they had was it Latrell and
Cassell?
Who was Cassell? That was it, not Latrell. Was Latrell on that team also?
Sprewell, yeah. That was the year right after he left the Knicks, and they went to the conference finals.
Yeah, they were pretty good that year. Let me see if they stay on NBA. What years he went to the playoffs?
They went 8 straight years.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of think you should be able to make the playoffs. What's his name? Who's the other guy? The next best player in the NBA, the unibrow. Why can't he make the playoffs?
Right.
He's also never healthy.
They made it 8 straight years, and they lost in the first round 7 straight years.
which is fair enough. They should be making it past the first round, but at least he was making the playoffs.
Well, I mean, those teams were just so bad.
But Garnett was so goddamn good that it kind of helped.
Yeah.
But I just think if you're a really great player, you should be able to make. The bigger question is, why can't Sacramento make the goddamn playoffs with him? Cousins is healthy every year.
Right.
I always wonder about that. Bruno writes, "Do you guys are satisfied with? Are you guys satisfied with Phil's job so far? Is it only me who thinks that even if this year doesn't work as planned, we're in a better position than we've been in years? He got us picks and past trades. Stop trading our own way, and we have our future picks from now on. I think that we're in a good place, even if this year doesn't pan out to be as good as we want it to be. The triangle thing is a bit annoying, but as a franchise, we're in a better place now than we were in the past. Where we were with the past GMs who traded every goddamn pick we had."
I mean, this is still like one of those, in progress deals, right?
I mean, on the positive side of things with Phil, we have the draft picks, as Bruno said. We have KP, who we think pretty highly of. You have some young guys you feel like will be pretty good. Like, we didn't have necessarily a lot of draft picks when Phil's been here so far, but you feel like Billy Hernan-Gomez will be a solid NBA player. I get the sense that Kuz could be a solid NBA player, even though he's only played one NBA game so far. Justin Holiday looks decent. It's so hard to say. We don't really know if Derrick Rose is going to be on the team next year. We don't know if Noah's going to be healthy, but it's the triangle thing is annoying as hell. But I don't know. It's hard to grade his work in 2 games into the season.
Yep, agreed.
I would say I'm gonna have a strong opinion about Phil by the end of the season, based on this team, because this is the team that should define him.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to win a title, but they have to be good. Q writes, "Should we trust the process and rebuild the right way through drafts? Have you guys seen Embiid's game?"
I mean, yeah, we need to build through the draft, and I'm still not terribly impressed with Embiid.
I think we should keep our draft picks going forward. I don't know. They're not going to rebuild I don't know if there's a right way. It's just the way they're doing it is a little bit weird, going with all the the win now starters and the I don't know. We'll see what happens. Andrew writes, "Can Jay sing an opera song right now at full volume?" Go, Jay.
Even before my surgery, I was not able to do that.
Could you just sing something? Sing anything, Jay.
Let's not push it. I still have stitches and scabs in the back of my throat.
I want to see blood from your mouth for the live viewers.
And I just looked up the first Minnesota playoff team to, under Garnett.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely terrible.
Who's on the team?
You had Marbury, and then
Was Marbury bad then, though?
no, but after that, it's like the other players I've even heard of are Terry Porter and Tom Gugliotta, and Sam Mitchell, and I haven't heard of anybody else on the team.
What trade was Gugliotta involved? Isn't Gugliotta involved in some really terrible trade?
Yeah, wasn't he with the?
He's involved in one of the all-time worst trades, if I remember correctly, which I never remember. Crap. He was supposed to be a decent player, but where is the?
I think the Bullets were involved with that.
Okay, he was traded. Well, Wikipedia, thanks for. There's no mention of the trade he's involved in. Here,
he was traded by the
Warriors. The Warriors trade Chris Webber to the Bullets for Tom Gugliotta. That worked out. Good call, Bullets. For those that are newer NBA fans, the Bullets are the Wizards. They thought the Bullets were too scary in Washington D.C. and but gay Wizards go for it. Frank writes, "Can Robo J make cameos throughout the season?" Jay,
sure.
You're supposed to have Robo J actually say yes, but okay. What did we learn today, Jay?
We learned that we didn't have to wait too long for the first win of the season.
Yes. It was getting so close at the end, and I was like, if they blow this game, I'm just going to be so upset.
Yeah.
We learned that the Knicks are so much more fun to talk about when they've actually won a game and the season's actually started.
Yes, that is true.
You got to think, Jay? What are you doing, Jay? You seem completely distracted.
I'm
Are you playing Candy Crush or like talking in the room? What are you doing?
I am
You're on the show.
completely confused by this Gugliotta trade here.
What? Why? Okay. So could you have expressed yourself and told me you're confused? Not like I'm going to read this to myself and think about it.
So the Bullets traded him and three first round draft picks to get Chris Webber, but then Chris Webber left the Bullets like immediately, right?
Okay, so the actual trade here, the Gugliotta trade from the Bullets to the Warriors, the Bullets traded forward Gugliotta, a 96 first round draft pick and 98 first round draft pick, who turned out to be Vince Carter, and a 2000 first draft pick, Chris Min, to Golden State Warriors for Chris Webber. So the Bullets traded for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then but he wasn't on the Bullets. So who did they trade him to?
Who the Webber?
Wait a second.
I know. You see what I mean? This is like a very confusing trade here.
They traded. Let's go back in time and talk about a trade that no one gives a crap about anymore. The Bullets traded Gugliotta. They got Chris Webber, right?
The Bullets got Chris Webber, yes.
Maybe I should look up Chris Webber. His Wikipedia page better be longer for a guy.
I just did. The Golden State Warriors traded him after his rookie season for Gugliotta. Okay, we're done here. We don't need to.
Wait a second. Hang on. Let's go back a second. Hang on. So Webber was drafted. Orlando drafted him, and they traded him for Anthony Hardaway on draft night, right?
Yeah.
And so who was the team that drafted Anthony Hardaway?
This is just a whole spiral of confusion here.
Oh my God. Okay, so he was selected by Golden State. The Magic immediately traded him to Golden State. Golden State then made this big trade to the Wizards, and they traded him. I thought Webber played a little bit for the Wizards, right?
4 years.
He played for 4 years for the Wizards. Okay, so what's the confusion?
Nothing.
You were confused that the Wizards traded for Webber and then played him?
No, I was confused of who was getting the draft picks.
Oh, I mean, Vince Carter was one of the draft picks. I just don't understand how Vince Carter didn't end up
on either team, right? Like,
let's go Vince Carter's draft.
Yeah. Okay, we're done.
Because the Vince Carter for Webber, I mean, that makes the trade look. Can you bring you back to the Knicks? Can you believe Vince Carter's still playing in the NBA?
Oldest guy in the NBA,
and he still doesn't look that bad. It's amazing. I guess he is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Let's just look this quickly. I guess he was on the Raptors. A draft day trade in '98. A lot of big draft day trades that turn out to like screw organizations. They traded him for Jameson, Antoine Jameson, who wasn't that bad, but not a good trade at all.
Right.
Okay,
all right.
Jay.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Can we talk about some trades from the 80s?
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back soon. Please leave an iTunes review. Email us, nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. Twitter is nyknickspodcast. You can leave us a voicemail, 631-676-1181, or Skype, The Brink of Sanity. And we will be back soon.
And if you like Robo J better than regular J, we're gonna do a Kickstarter page to get Jay the surgery again.
And we do every show live through Ustream, so join our Facebook group or Twitter to get notifications. We usually record Sunday nights around 8:30, though.
Okay, cool.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say.
guy knows not to judge a man by his car's multicolored paint job or absence of modern gadgetry. Who cares if it's technically old enough to vote and the windows are powered by the strength of your left arm? Your monthly payment is zero, and it'll stay that way. Because with over 500,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. She may not be pretty, but she's all yours. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Yo, everybody get up! Everybody get up! Everybody needs to understand that I'm more than simply a hype man for this rap group, just like Geico is more than just a company that can save you money. Geico also has fast and friendly claim service, so they can help you when you need it most. And while I do love being a hype man, I also love reading for children's audiobooks. Like Little Bo Peep, she lost the sheep, and she don't know where to find them. Yo!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.